Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Bearded Lumber. Matthew and I greatly appreciate you tuning in. Gonna do something a little different today. Gonna give you an overview of what's going on here post Hurricane Helene. Like I told you earlier, we're fine. You know, very little damage here locally, but the more I watch YouTube and some of the people that's been out and talk to some of the people that's went to these hard hit areas, they got hit hard. But y'all keep them in your thoughts and prayers. I'm gonna go around and show you what our log yard looks like, what we've been into. Really hadn't been able to film as much as I like to. We've just gotten so far behind so quick. We've had to knuckle down and work. Of course, Matthew and Caitlin got a new baby, Mordecai, so they're busy. I'm trying, not to overwork Matthew, but he quit yesterday. We had mountain of logs come in. We worked a little late cleaning up the yard, and he went home to take care of wife and baby, and then I kept working. I didn't quit till 8:30 last night. Had so much to do. Probably did the same thing again today. The old adage, you make hay when the sun's shining. Well, the sun's shining pretty hard, so we got a lot to do. So hang on through the intro, and I'm gonna ride you around and show you what our log yard looks like. Okay guys, let's take the scenic route. Sun's coming up, it's gonna be another beautiful day. Okay, here's some hickory logs I had stored down the wood yard. Matthew had to bring them up here yesterday just to get them out of the way. These are a bunch of pine logs. There's a few oak logs in there. These come from the local septic tank guy / tree man. These will eventually be 2x4s, 2x6s. I think he's wanting to build a new barn. Let's see here. Got a pile of maple. I'm letting it sit up here and age, spot. Had a little bit of Leland cypress come in. You ever get your hands on Leland? It's a good outdoor wood. People wanting to build raised beds, flower planters. It's a good affordable option versus a cedar, something a lot more expensive. Got all my popper logs separated up to here. They need to get sawed. I don't know when. This is all the sweet gum logs we've had come in. They're up here. I try to keep my piles segregated as much as I can. That's 16-foot red oak and white oak. I had these before the storm, but everything out here in the yard, there's a couple thousand feet of yellow pine contractor brought in. to get sawed. Either be tongue and groove wallboard or tongue and groove heart pine flooring. Got a little bit of cedar lady dropped off. We're going to mill it right in the next batch in the kiln. Still got this big maple burl. We're going to probably cut it sometime in November. We've been letting it spalt for a customer. I promise we're going to do a video on redwood as soon as we get a chance. I won't saw it. It's going to be some beautiful stuff. Now, all this is technically my wood. Red oak, white oak, chestnut oak. I see a couple yellow pines. Another huge pile of red oak, white oak, chestnut oak. I believe there's even a couple of black oak in it. Got a stack there waiting on the customer to pick up. It's ready to go. We got a whole load of this in the kiln, and this is the second part of it. Hopefully go in next week. Got some oak ready for the kiln, some thick oak. I got a whole lot more to saw for this for one particular customer for a kiln run in late November. This is some 20-foot white oak. Take it out. There's a lot here, guys, so hang on with me. This 20-foot, basically 2x8, 8.5 by 8, and 12 footers and some 1-inch boards just for a customer. He had trees come down. He wanted to cut them into trailer deck inventory, so he's got plenty. Got a couple stacks here waiting on customers to pick up. This was the last of the 12-foot white oak I had. I still have a huge pile of 12-foot red oak. You don't have to worry too much about this stuff, guys. The oaks, they may develop some end checking, but the wood itself will last good. It'll last several years. Walk in here, my inventory is in trouble. This is all the white pine I have left that's dry, ready to go. 4, 6s, and 8s. This is 4 stacks of sweet gum. This is ready to run on the Moulder planer. We had talked about having some low-grade pine. I've got 1, 2, 3 or 4 bundles here. It's good stuff, just not really good enough quality. I'd want to sell it for top dollar, but we're going to run it and put it in our Moulder planer. Normally I got a stack of 1x10 pine here to the ceiling and 1x10 white pine to the ceiling. We are out. And then I got a little stack of oak. This stuff never been kiln dried. Really don't sell it. And this is my stack of 2x4s. We're out. So been trying to saw inventory much as we could. On this white pine, I've actually got 300 1x10s over there ready to run in the kiln. I just don't have time to get it in right now. Yeah, there's over 8,000 board feet over there ready to go. Like I say, 300 1x10s, and then the rest of it's 4, 6, and 8-inch boards. It's gonna be for tongue and groove wall boards. When we get caught up, we can run it. Now, let's go over here and look at the other side of the yard, because it's a mess. Yeah, it's not a mess. It's clean and organized. There's just a lot of it. I got a pile of white pine over there we sawed years ago. It's actually in my oldest son's house and my dad's lake house. He come out here the other day, got this little stack together. We stickered it, bundled it, the one right on top. Yeah, right there. We're gonna run that. You know, he had damage to his lake house. We're gonna run that so he can finish repairing the bathroom this winter. So, okay. Okay, guys, had to make a phone call. Sorry about that. Seen one of my local tree guys come through this morning, and I drove down here expecting to see a pile of logs. And I called him up and asked him what he done. He said it had a bunch of mess in it, some leaves and stuff, so he dumped it up there in my burn hole. So we'll fish them out here in a little while. Let's finish our walk around this morning. We're sawing 1x10s for a good customer of mine. He's 500 feet there. I finished that 500 foot last night, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 more oak logs to do. That job will be done. I got 16, 19 foot white oak. Customer dropped off yesterday. He said he had about 10,000 board feet. He had about 70 logs like that. I'm like, oh Lord. So there's a lot more of that to come. That big one right here, the first one, 19 footer, took out his barn. So he's gonna get even with it. He's gonna saw it up into 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x12s, whatever he needs. I'm waiting on a list from his contractor. He's gonna rebuild his barn, but there'll be a lot more of that coming. This pile is some huge forest pine I bought, and there's a couple sweet gums. I bought these a month or so ago. There's a good price and they're big. Unfortunately, they were 8-footers. I don't normally like to buy 8-footers, but we'll use them. They'll make good siding, good boards. These 3 stacks were here already. They need to get gone. It's that time of year. It's all yellow pine. There's a little old white pine in front of it. This huge stack here, unfortunately, is all Hurricane Helene. It come out of Biltmore, North Carolina area. Most of it is white spruce. We don't see it here at the elevation we live at. You got to be a little higher. Some beautiful wood. There's a couple big poplars. They may have some rainbow in them. And I seen a couple big cherry logs in there when he dropped them off. Yeah, they're back there. But this is all gonna get sawed, kiln dried, and Moulder planed sometime. I don't know when. This is all 12-foot yellow pine, forest pine. Comes from local tree guys cleaning up. And got a cousin taking care of me. He's working next door actually. He hauled all this white pine in yesterday. Said he's got some more coming. This is a pretty good, nice pile of mostly white oak. I think there's 1 or 2 pieces of red oak in it. This come off a local golf course, got hit real hard. This is actually the contractor clearing a lot to build a house. All this will be cut, dried, and either S4S or tongue and groove, go back in the house he's working on. This pile come from another local grader. What did he say he was making? Fencing, yeah.
We lost a lot.
Yeah, lost a lot of fencing. This is some low grade stuff, but perfect for fence post, fencing. And then go over and show how big some of these are, Matthew, for size reference. Yeah, these are some nice pieces.
Yeah.
You know anything about the Asheville area? These come out of Biltmore Forest.
Biltmore Village Golf Course.
And around the Village Golf Course. These are trees that we would never saw because you wouldn't cut them. I wouldn't cut them. They're too beautiful. But they got blowed over. The grader that brought these, he's building a huge cabin. Matthew and I have sawed every piece of wood in it, and he's going to build a big old porch. Told me he was, I think he said he was in Colorado somewhere. He was in Colorado a while back and seen a cabin kind of style he's doing, and they had a porch down one side of it. He said they had these massive posts holding it up, and he liked the look of it. So he wanted 12 by 12 posts to hold up his front porch. So we'll get to that. He's no hurry. He's so busy right now. He's months behind. Like I say, he's a grader, dirt mover by trade, but they've been doing FEMA relief. They've cut so many trees. Like I say, all that big old pile of white oak he brought, big old pile of spruce, and we already covered that big pile up on top of the hill. So That's our post Helene update. You can see our log yard is just covered up. Last night where I'm standing, you couldn't walk. There was 4 or 5, it was probably 7 loads of logs here. Couldn't even get up the hill.
Out here 2-3 hours just cleaning.
Yeah, Matthew quit helping me about 3:30, 4 o'clock, said he's gonna move logs. And I think I got done about 6, what I saw, and helped him move the rest of them. It takes a while to keep it neat and organized. I try to keep my species together. Oak is not that big a deal, but when you're dealing with pine, you need to keep a track of when you got it and how quick you need to get rid of it. There's a 12-foot pile of pine right here, and then right above there is another 12-foot pile of pine. And the reason they're not together is this pile is the older one, and it needs to get gone now. It needs to go before the end of the year. What just came in will be good for, you know, till springtime. You gotta be careful with pine, especially here in the south. The pine beetles get in it. That's why I was sawing through all that white pine. I told you I had a bunch in inventory to saw. Right there it is. All that, I mean, to kiln dry. All that's ready to go. We've got 2 big stacks of oak over there. It needs to get through the Moulder planer eventually. Just too much to do right this second. But anyway, with pine, if you saw it from say May through August, September, maybe even October, you need to get it gone before the end of the year. Pine beetles will move in and they'll have a good time over winter. Now, we're in late October, almost November. Anything you cut now will be good all the way through winter into springtime before the pine beetles will bother it. So just bear that in mind. You got to manage your materials. Hardwoods will sit out here for a year or two and not hurt anything, but this pine will go away from you in a hurry. Now, let's finish this video up with a little Moulder planer update, and Matthew and I got to get to work. So hang on, we'll be right back when I get in the building. Okay guys, let's wrap this up with our Moulder planer, tell you where we're at. We had Peter from Whining come out and spend a day with us. Helped a lot, learned a lot, found some problems we didn't know we had. This thing has a computer. It had 2 heads that move, and we couldn't get the heads to calibrate. We took a video, but it's not a video that we'll ever put out. It was just trying to remember what he was saying. If we got any questions, we can go back and review it. But that being said, I had a Whining technician, spent 30 years working on these machines. Could not get the head to calibrate. It's either in the computer or they got a sensor that reads how many times the motor turns. There's 2 of them, 1 for each motor. He said it could be a couple things, and needless to say, Whining does not support this technology anymore. There's some third-party companies that do a little. So I made the decision on the fly that we was going to do away the computer, and that's what we done. There used to be a motor hanging right here. That motor's gone. Now in its place, I went to the lathe and I built. It had a stub shaft. I built a square drive and a keyway. Got it mounted on there, and then I had to go back and actually build a lock for it because it didn't have a lock. The only thing it cost me really to switch this machine over from computer to manual, I had to buy another one of these. There we go. It's a counter. I stole the one off this side to put over here, but that's a $200 counter. Now it is completely manual. We don't need a computer. I've actually pulled the motor and all the wiring harness off. It's laid back over here in the floor. As always, you find things. We knew we needed some wax lit. It comes in 2 forms. You can get it in an aerosol. It's great. After you get done running and you've wiped all the oil and residue off your metal, you can spray it with this wax lit and it won't rust. As well as you can spray it with this as you're running and it keeps the surface slick. It's a little pricey. They also sell it in the gallon and a half, you know, it's 5 kilograms, whatever that is. sell it in a 1.5 gallon jug. We have the pump here, and it does work. It's hard to see it, but it pumps out a little wax lit out a hole right there. I think it's out now, yeah. And for whatever reason, it has a sight glass. I guess somebody broke it, and they had the bright idea to put a truck lug nut in it. So I bought the sight glass to go back in the hole so that we can see when our wax lit reservoir is low. And this is just a lubricant. It's good for your machine. It don't cause rust, and it keeps the machine surface good and slick. So between it and the aerosol version, we should be able to keep it from rusting like it was when we started working on it. Everything works. We've run some S4S. I don't think I did film a couple shorts running some S4S. Functions like it's supposed to, sounds good. Vacuum system works good. Once we get caught up on our sawmilling, we're behind bad right this second. We'll get back on this and get it ready to run, tongue and groove. Actually, the set of knives that I had for it were the wrong ones. So I sent them back. Actually, when Peter was here, he took them back with him because he was going to Whiting the next morning. They were made for running face side up, and with this machine, we're actually running face side down. So the knives have to be configured just the opposite. It's no big deal. I mean, it's just one of them things. So we're waiting on a new set of knives. Carbide inserts should be here end of this week, next week, and we'll be ready to tune it up. That big pile of low quality pine boards I showed you over there, we want to run them. All that's going to go in here eventually, but we want to practice with them. It's a bunch of our stuff, so no harm, no foul. If we mess one up, no big deal. So, anything else we're missing, Matthew? Mm-hmm. We're blessed beyond measure, people. We've been slow for a little while, which was fine because we'd spent a lot of time this year working on this. We're behind. We're under the gun. My phone hadn't quit ringing with people wanting to know, when they can get something solved, this, that, and the other. I tell them, you bring it to me, I'll put you on the list. It's the best I can tell you right now. We'll get to it as quick as we can. I foresee next year being a very busy year around the sawmill. A lot of people rebuilding, doing things that they can't do, won't do right now. They're still in the process of filing claims. I had a customer that dropped off at White Oak that wiped out his barn. He said yesterday's the first day since the hurricane he'd called his insurance company and a human answered. He was tickled. So keep those people in your thoughts and prayers. I mean, I've watched the same YouTube stuff you're watching, Western North Carolina. Those places were hit hard, very hard. It'll take decades to overcome some of that. And I did watch a guy this morning on YouTube, runs a fishing channel. Fish tips, something, I don't remember. But anyway, he was talking about how certain counties in Western North Carolina need the tourism dollars, and he was right. There's some counties in the western part of Western North Carolina that didn't really get affected, but nobody's coming because they've told everybody to stay out of the area. But if you want to come see the leaves, see the area, maybe call ahead somebody in the area, ask if they're open, because a lot of these little small towns that didn't get hit hard are open, and they're looking for you to come by and spend some tourism dollars. So that's going to do it for this video. Sorry it wasn't no sawing. We got plenty to do. We're going to try our best to record it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you back at the mill.
Thank you for watching. Here's a video selection and a playlist suggestion. Click here to subscribe for more great content. We'll see you at the mill.